So let's get into it. I'm Amit Weitzer. I'm the ED at Tavor. It's an honor to be in this role and be connected with you all during the summers and during the year. Randy is here also. She just disappeared, so she'll introduce herself when she comes back. A little Zoom orientation for those of you who are new to Zoom. When we're sort of in presentation mode, it can be really helpful if you use the mute button on the lower left hand of your screen. It's a little microphone. It doesn't sound like anybody really has much in the way of background noise, so it might not be important, but if things come up, you can mute yourself. You can turn on and off your video, and Zoom's generally pretty good at sort of, depending on how you have your screen, just showing the person who's speaking and kind of moving the other people to the background. When I share my screen with you, the thing that will take up the most space on your screen will be the PowerPoint. Randy, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Randy, the outreach coordinator. I just had a huge cat accident, so that's what got me out of this chair. Sorry about that. Had to kick him out. I'm really glad you all could be here tonight, and you all know me.
Beautiful. Big picture, we're here. We're going to talk about the MBT program, Machane Bonim Tavor, that is meant to be a complement to Kadima or MBI, or the thing you do with Tavor this summer if you have other adventures on your plate. So I think many of you know one another, or certainly your children know one another. But let's do a quick round of introduction. Why don't we say your name, your pronoun, your connection to Tavor, the number of years you've been at Tavor, and then one thing you're excited about for yourself or for your camper, your Chanichol this summer. That will sort of help get us thinking about summer, even though it's quite cold and dark outside. So I'll call out folks because everyone's in a different order. How about the Klugers? Can you go first?
Sure. Go ahead, Elon.
So I'm Elon.
How long have you been going?
I've been going to camp for 7 years. Something I'm excited for this year. So I don't know. I guess excited, maybe just to if I can.
I couldn't hear what you said. What'd you say?
Oh, just camp. Just going to camp. Camp's fun.
Great.
You love your trip out there, right?
Easy to please.
Me too?
Yeah, please.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I'm Avram, and I'm not a camper anymore, but I was back at Nahalet back in the day. So that's, yeah. Anyway, and I'm just looking forward to Elon having fun at camp or whatever he does during the year, during the summer.
Okay, great. All right, the Klein Tasmans, you're next on my screen.
Milo, you can go first.
I'm Milo. He, him, his. I forgot the other things.
What are you excited about for this summer?
I'm excited to go to camp. Seems interesting this year.
Cool. All right. And I'm Bonnie, she, her, hers, pronouns. And I have fairly long-standing Habonim Dror connections as well. I was a Gesher camper and went to Israel with Habonim Dror as well. And I'm excited to see social engagement, social justice engagement this summer. I think that'll be a good focus.
All right, Laura, I see you next.
Okay, hi, I'm Laura Klubach, and hi, Avram and Elon. Rose and Elon went to kindergarten together many, many years ago, in addition to knowing each other from Tavor. Let's see, I'm excited. So I'm Rose's mom, and I'm excited about, I think, doesn't the whole age group, is that Machane? I don't know all the terms. The whole age group nationally gets together for this summer, right? So I'm really excited for Rose to meet, and for Elon and everybody to meet all of their age mates from all over the country who are part of Tavor, or part of Habonim Dror, sorry.
I love the language age mates. I feel like that. Yeah. That's good.
But there's probably some Hebrew term for it.
Kfutza is the Hebrew
Kfutza,
that's
okay.
used. The
So that
age mate, I think, really gets to the soul of it. So.
Oh, and I'm she, her, hers.
Awesome. Thank
Pronouns.
you.
Yes.
All right, Eric.
Good evening, Eric McDuffie, father of Amaya McDuffie, who and Amit. My goodness, I lost track. Maybe 5 or 6 summers up there at Camp Tavor. At least, yeah, a while at least.
Yeah.
I can speak for Maya, who unfortunately is not here with me, but I know she absolutely loves camp. She loves her friends. She loves the social engagement, the conversation. And she basically just wants to continue it and, do social justice work. And as someone just said, just especially in this moment right now, I think we need social justice and a kind of global consciousness like never before. So yeah, she's very excited. In terms of pronouns, his, him, he's fine. And and thanks for this conversation to me.
Beautiful. All right. Well, let's dig in. So I'm going to share my screen.
Okay.
So you can see
the
some
MBT
photos of your beautiful faces, because
so
mostly I just
many
took
of you
photos
may
from
or may not know,
last year's
depending on how
Bogrima,
your
since there are no
relationship
photos of this
with
program that's new.
Tavor. But we've
So
long
one
had
moment.
a weekend this 11th grade year it's been called the NBI weekend or Prima Dots seminar weekend. Traditionally this year, after the Bogrimo year,
Pretty
the
fancy
summer
for Tavor,
between
but
10th
here
and
we
11th
go.
grade has been the summer that folks, like Laura said, connect with their national kfutza. Traditionally, that had been only on an Israel program. Several years ago, well, actually, even before that, there was a stateside program. Then there was just the Israel program, and more recently, there's been a program in North America called Kadima that Tavor has had the honor of hosting for the last several years. So there's these two main programs that HDNA coordinates and manages during that summer. And Tavor, though, in all of the machanot, because of course we still want folks to have an opportunity to be with each other and to be at Tavor, has hosted this weekend that was sort of gonna kick off the summer. As the Kadima and MBI programs have gotten a little bit shorter for a number of reasons, we are hearing a need for the seminar to be an extended, longer, more robust experience. We're hearing that folks want to have a more extended, longer, full summer experience. We're hearing that from some folks, they're not able to do Kadima, they're not able to do MBI for whatever reason, and so they want their time at Tavor to be as long as possible, whatever fits with the calendar. And we're hearing from folks that they really want to build on all of the work that we've been doing in sort of the outdoor recreation and the environmental justice and the social justice realm. So we're excited. We looked at the calendar, we looked at our staffing and realized that we can make this work. Gilboa, which is the camp in the LA area, is doing something really similar. Miriam in British Columbia has long had a 5-day seminar for their post-Bogrimo year. So this is really sort of, it's building off tradition. It's a little bit new, but also a little bit of sort of a call back to a longstanding tradition of gathering together at your home machane before heading off to connect with your national kfutza, either in Israel or stateside. Let's see. So in addition to, so in some ways it could be this beautiful complement to Kadima or MBI or whatever else you're doing this summer. Other big picture is that it's going to be time at Tavor, which what folks said is their main goal, but we're adding on some additional highlights to sort of what you would find in a typical week and a half or so at Camp Tavor. So we're going to build on the Tiyul experience from last year, adding new outdoor adventures, and I'm going to ask later in the presentation what folks are interested in because we're still building it out. The goal being that we know that loving being outside, outdoor recreation and adventure is a critical piece of a foundation of being a climate justice warrior, of being somebody who is environmentally responsible and stewards the environment throughout your life. And so we want this program to be both
loving and enjoying being present in the outdoors and building recreation and wilderness skills that will serve you throughout your life, and also the foundation upon which your activism might come. So we'll talk a little bit more about that throughout the presentation. So new outdoor adventures, we're going to layer on some environmental stewardship and conservation projects, both at camp and in the community. We've been hearing a lot from this age group and our high schoolers in particular about interest in the climate strikes and climate justice work. So we're going to be layering on some engagement with those movements, which are of course evolving. So we'll see where they are in the summer, and extended opportunities to build on the tzedek year-round programming that Naomi has been leading in Chicago and in Ann Arbor, where we're learning with local Jewish justice-seeking organizations. So that's sort of big picture. Why a new program? I spoke a little bit about this on sort of the last page, but so we're building on the long tradition of MBI pre-Midat seminar as a time when the Kvutza can be together. We want to fill in a timing gap that's created by the shortened HDNA programs and provide a robust and full summer of learning and growing. We have heard feedback from parents, from chanichimot, from families, including a focus group that Elon and Milo were a part of at Fall Seminar, that they're interested in a new options for the buffet of programs for 11th graders. It's sort of a tricky year. I mean, I think a lot of kids who are children of alumni have a sense of what the options are, but here you've been on the Tavor journey with us, and then there's sort of this moment where you have two options, and this felt like a really great way to sort of ground the summer in familiarity before moving on to something less familiar with the broader movement. And then the name, Machane Bonim Tavor, definitely a mouthful. We went back and forth, but it was feeling right to the folks in the wider Habonim Dror community. It's in this long tradition of KM Bet and MBI. And like I mentioned, Habonim Dror Camp Gilboa is launching their own Machane Bonim Gilboa this summer. So we're hoping that this will probably be a larger trend, and you're going to see these programs at the other Machanot as sort of bookends. Some of these programs are going to be at the end of the summer after MBI and Kadima, and some of them will be at the beginning. So here are the dates. They're also on our website. So you can find them there. You don't have to scribble this down. I'm bringing it up because I want to make sure it's clear to folks that it's flexible, and this can look a variety of ways depending on how you're building your summer schedule. We know there's a lot of interest in Kadima amongst the post-Bogrimo Kvutza. We're hearing that from folks. We're seeing it reflected in the registration numbers. And Kadima begins at Tavor. So there's kind of this unique opportunity where this post-Bogrimo can come to Tavor on that first session bus on June 21st, stay with us through July 3rd, and then hop right on to Kadima because Kadima is starting at Tavor. So the fullest sort of expression of the MBT program can be with Kadima, and it's 12 days, and it would cruise right from the 21st to the 3rd. If you are doing MBI, it also works, and we've prorated the tuition to reflect a shorter program, and that would go from June 21st, that first day of first session, through approximately June 27th. MBI starts June 29th, and so this is super flexible. If your plan is to do MBI and you need to be home before the 27th, we'll work that out. We'll prorate it further. The whole idea is we want as many people engaged as possible, and so we can be super flexible in providing transportation. We also know there are some folks who have school conflicts and family travel plan conflicts and bar mitzvahs, and so we wanted for them to also be able to join us, not going into another program. So that's the full expression as well, the 12 days. I will say, and you'll see it reflected on the website, that the cost of the program is additionally subsidized if you're doing it with Kadima or MBI. We're doing that because we know you're already making an investment in the HDNA summer programming. We want to make it as accessible as possible to join us.
So you'll see a subsidized tuition for the MBT with Kadima and MBI, and sort of a more familiar daily rate that's more similar to what you've seen in our programming for the younger ages with the MBT program without either of those additional programs. So let me know if you have any questions. Let Randy know if you have any questions. Website. Okay. So I mentioned before, building on this outdoor adventure that where we've been growing as a community over the last several years. So we're building a foundation of love for outdoor adventure to bring passion and vision to environmental activism and lifelong love and pursuit of conservation. We're going to build on the TUL with adventure experiences designed to develop new skills. And I want to hear from you all what you're interested in doing. Because what's exciting about this program is it's really an opportunity for you to help to build it. And we're going to have some Zoom calls throughout the year where we're actually going to ask the kids who are registered to join and talk to us about, how we want the program to be developed. But right now is an exciting opportunity to hear from you. So I'll just call folks out. I'm going to start with Elon, then we'll do Milo, and then we've got other parents. So I want to hear from parents too as we're building this. So Elon and Milo, can you tell me, what would you be interested in the realm of outdoor adventure? And this could be day trip or it could be something extended.
I liked backpacking. I enjoyed that last year.
Okay.
So doing something oriented like that would be fun.
How many days? 3 days, Elon?
I don't know how many days, but backpacking.
Okay, backpack, amazing. You're speaking my language. What about you, Milo?
I as well like the backpacking. Yeah, I kind of like that kind of outdoor activity. This kind of thing.
Was the volume just funny for everybody else, or is that just me?
Yes.
Yeah, no, that was weird.
Okay. So I missed the last thing that you said, Milo.
I like the woods. The woods, yeah.
Any particular skills for both Elon and Milo that you, while you are on that trip, that you thought to yourself, oh, I wish I knew more about this thing? I mean, you had the trippers with you. Were there things you saw them do that you want to know more about how to do yourself?
Who are the trippers? Who are the trippers?
We had staff who have extended wilderness leadership experience and wilderness first responder, so wilderness medicine certifications, join the Bogrimo Savet on the trip as additional sort of first aid and navigation support. And they're also sort of experts in leave no trace, so they were helpful in cooking and that kind of thing, sort of being resources as we build out this programming.
Sure. That's good.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Cool. If you think of something, definitely let me know. And then for any of the parents on the call, I mean, any things that you would be especially excited about for your children, or that you've heard your children share and they're not on the call, so you could represent them?
You guys should work on it.
Eric or Laura?
Yeah. Sure. I can go first. I know Maya really enjoyed going up to the UP last year. So to kind of echo what folks have already said, backpacking, that trip. And Amaya also really enjoyed that trip to Detroit. I believe they took part in a protest or a climate change event or something like that. I know she really enjoyed that.
Oh, awesome. Great. Thank you. And then Laura, I'd love to hear from you if you have anything you want to share.
Here, I'm back. I wish Rose is actually on her way back from something. I wonder if she'll be able to join in this, because I think she also enjoyed the UP. I know they had some interesting challenges with flies and interesting natural issues with their trip, but I honestly don't really have any suggestions, and I really haven't talked about it with Rose. I mean, I think it would be neat if they could do some different kinds of experiences. I don't know if they could do like whitewater rafting or I don't know, maybe just something different. I don't know if they could do biking, something. I love the idea of them being out and gaining outdoor skills. So I think really, I can't imagine anything that could not go well with that.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you. All right, we'll move on then. And I alluded to this before, and this is inherent in Time in the Woods, but we'd love to layer on a particular focus on conservation. And that can look a lot of different ways. We're playing with it right now. But a programmatic focus on environmental stewardship and conservation skills. And that could be a particular project at Camp Tavor, or we're talking to some potential partners in the local land management community. So actually contributing and making a difference in stewarding public land that's near Tavor as a way of sort of giving back and just having a much more comprehensive understanding of everything having to do with the environment, both recreating, both larger issues like climate justice and also things like erosion. And so I wanted to lift this up as a potential focus of our element of the program as well. A potential folk art skill would involve making our own wooden bowls and spoons. Just wanted to lift that up as a potential thing that we might do, which I'm very excited about. And then, of course, and I heard this reflected in the comments that you shared, and we heard it time and again from the post-Bo Grimo and the rest of the folks in the high school group, is a focus on Tzedek and Tikkun Olam. So we're really excited to build on the momentum of the year-round programming for those of you who've been able to engage with it, and dig in with some of our local program partners, whether it's the Jewish Council on Urban Affairs or Detroit Jews for Justice or other groups who are doing justice work Jewishly. Certainly this summer ahead of an election is going to be a really interesting time to obviously be careful as it relates to anything partisan, but there's going to be a ton of issues and ballot initiatives and things for us to really dig into and reflect on as a community. And I think people are going to be at Machane wanting to make a difference on everything that's happening in the world, and we want to figure out a way to make that happen in part of this program. So we're going to develop opportunities to engage with social change work happening in our communities. And one of those communities is Three Rivers, which is a fascinating progressive community in rural Southwest Michigan. And we have a growing group of neighbors who are politically active and want to engage with us. So we're excited to dig into those relationships this summer. This is sort of another question to the group. I've heard climate change from folks, but what are some of the other issues that are feeling really salient to you that you'd be interested in thinking about or focusing on this summer? You can just kind of go through the line again. Also Elon, then Milo, and then, Eric and Laura, if you have things to offer from what you hear your kids talking about.
The issues are all
Oh, and I see the Adlers have joined us too, so we'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, I think talking more about anti-Semitism and how to fight it would be interesting. I think that.
Yeah. Thank you. Milo? Oh, I think you're muted.
Yeah, now we're not. Yeah.
I think that anti-Semitism is interesting. We always do gender stuff. I don't know. There seems to be something that we always do. So I like the pattern that we followed.
I'm sorry, what was the last thing you said?
I like the pattern that we've followed.
Oh, okay. So you're okay with continuing to do the thing that you've done.
Things in the past that seem to have been interesting.
Cool. All right. Eric, anything that's close to Amaya's heart these days?
Sure. I mean, certainly, of course, anti-racism and just a real engaged, critical conversation about Israel foreign policy, or rather, treatment of Palestinians. Those real easy questions, right?
Yeah. Perfect. Well, we got 12 days, so we'll figure it out.
Exactly.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Gilia, what's on your mind?
No, I don't know. Just like more of what we've been doing. All of like the pillow that we have are always like really, really good no matter what the topic is. I feel like we always end up having a really good discussion. And I'd be happy to just like do anything. I don't know. I like it.
Okay, wonderful. And then Laura, sort of same question as before, if you have anything if you want Rose represented on the call.
I think climate justice is really important to her. I think also Israel issues. I think also anti-Semitism, especially on college campuses. Let's see what else. And then probably also food justice. So I think all those issues.
Okay. Well, we're on the same page. That sounds great. So we'll pivot a little bit to some logistics. As I mentioned, there's sort of the 3 versions of this, depending on what else you're doing during the summer, all of which include joining the rest of the Tavor Chanichimot community on buses from Chicago, Ann Arbor, or Detroit on that first day coming to camp. If those are not convenient locations for you, parent drop-off is always an option too. So that will function in a pretty similar way to what you're used to. And then on the last day of the program, depending on what is happening next for you, there's a couple options. If you are going onto MBI, families can work with Randy or I to coordinate pickup or train transportation, and we'll pick a date that works for you, we'll prorate accordingly, and we'll make sure that your child gets home when they need to be home. Or if you'd like, to an airport. Certainly we can make that happen too, if they're gonna go straight from Tavor to an airport. For Kadima starts at Tavor, as I mentioned for those of you who joined us a little bit late. And so this works out really beautifully. You come to Tavor at the beginning of first session, and you stay at Tavor through Kadima. So you'll go, right into the program, and the rest of the Kadima participants from other Machanot will join you at Tavor on the 3rd. And if you're heading home on the 3rd, off to other exciting options or family travel plans, we'll provide a shuttle back to Chicago, Ann Arbor, or Detroit, or work with you to arrange a parent pickup at a time that's going to make sense. So those all options, and if there's something in between, let us know, and we'll absolutely figure it out with you. A couple other things I just wanted to lift up that are always questions. I always forget to talk about laundry, but it's always on everybody's mind. So we will sort out laundry. We don't have an exact date figured out, but certainly if you're going onto the Kadima program, we will have a laundry day, probably 3/4 of the way, probably after whatever the big Tiyul experience is, to make sure that you're ready to go for Kadima. And if you're not doing Kadima, but you find yourself in a situation where you need to do laundry, we can definitely make that happen. But I'm thinking most people can pack 12 days of clothes. And if you're heading home on the 3rd, that you don't need laundry. But you can push back if that feels wrong to you. But that's our instinct on laundry. And then housing, the MDT participants are going to stay in Ohalim in the Bogar Shetach. It's first session, so the Madats will be in the Madat Shetach, and you'll be holding it down in Bogar. So those are some of the odds and ends. I wanted to end with a question about what else. I know we've talked a little bit about it throughout the program. For the Adlers, I just wanted to share, part of what's awesome is that this is new. So we get to really build it together. And while this is an introductory webinar, we will definitely have another Zoom call once people are registered for the program with the Chanichimot of the program to really put pieces of this together, because we want this to be an opportunity for you to really help to build the program that you're going to be a part of. And we have a lot of time to make that happen. So we talked a little bit about our outdoor skills that we're interested in, justice issues we're interested in focusing on. Are there any other things that I didn't prompt you on that, you've got 12 days, you're at Tavor, you're with your people. Are there things that are important to you for that time that you'd really things that you think should be a part of the program? Anybody?
I had an idea. Maybe we could read some classic Zionist texts, like Herzl or something.
Whoa. Yeah, that's really interesting.
I am writing it down. Any other thoughts? Okay, well, our door is always open. So if you have more thoughts, please let us know. And then I just want to open it up to general questions. And then we'll close out and everybody can go do whatever else that they have to do this evening. But so what questions do folks have? Admittedly, we're still figuring some of it out, but I'll answer you if I've got the answer, and if I don't, I will work on it. Okay, well, I'll say just a couple things then. Oh,
Actually, yeah, so it's Eric. So quick question, Amit. Any idea about what most kids might do in terms of, was it the MBT? So they might, come up when if they come on the June 21st and leave on July 3rd, or do you think most kids are gonna come June 21st and stay all the way until the end of July? I mean, are you seeing any patterns or any tendencies so far?
Yeah, and I don't want to put folks on the spot, but certainly if there are other people on the call who have a sense of how you're thinking of building your summer, I'd love to hear from you, because I know the registrations for MDI and Kadima are sort of still trickling in. So maybe Eric, I will reflect. Let me see what other people on the call are thinking.
Sure.
Let's hear from them, and then I'll tell you what I'm hearing.
Sure, thank you.
So if folks are willing to share what you're thinking about, I know that that's a big piece of it, right? Is you wanna be with your people. Does anybody have a lot of clarity about what their summer is going to look like at this point?
At this point, we think that Milo will be there for the MBT program and the Kadima program.
Lugers, do you have any?
Go ahead, Elon.
I think I'm mainly just going to do the MBT program.
Adlers, do you have? I know you've got some plans you're organizing yourselves around.
Yeah, I'm not really sure if I can do anything this summer, but yeah, I don't know yet, but I want to if I can.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah, we'll see.
So
We'll see what happens.
Okay. Matan, what are you thinking?
I'm probably gonna do it. I'm not fully sure yet. We still need to work out some details, but
Okay.
I'm trying to.
Beautiful. Cool. So yeah, Eric, I can share that what I think that there are 6 folks from Tavor already signed up for Kadima. And
Okay.
and what I'm hearing overwhelmingly from the parents and the Hanifim what I'm speaking with is that folks are excited about and interested in Kadima. I think they were waiting on tuition, they're waiting on some program details that are coming out. Registration is open for both programs, definitely. And one thing that I actually just heard today, so I want to make sure you know, and we'll probably send a note out, is I heard that they're thinking about capping the Kadima registration because there is a lot of interest, and because it's going to have more of a travel trip feeling to it. They're going to be doing more traveling, which just has some different constraints than the program previously, as far as the vehicles and capacity and that sort of thing. So if that's something you're interested in, I would just encourage folks to get in Kadima early, so that you don't find yourself in a situation where it's been capped. That's something I heard today. And absolutely, I will continue to let folks know as I hear more. So Eric, does that sort of answer your question?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you so
Right.
much. I mean,
And I'll let you know as I hear more. And I think that people were waiting for this webinar. We're waiting to hear a little bit more about this. And I understand that Kadima is going to share finally the tuition and a little bit more of the programmatic details that have come into place next week. So I would imagine in the next couple of weeks, a lot of this will shake out.
okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions? Okay. Well, one thing I just want to lift up, it was in the original email. Certainly, I mean, all programs are this way. It's so helpful to know who is joining as early as possible so we can plan. And so we, like our other programs, have an early bird just to help to
give you a deal and help us have a sense of who's going to be joining us. So if you do think you're going to join us for the MBT program, it's $100 cheaper now. But if you register before January 15th. So just want to put that date on your radar. Of course, you can withdraw from the program and get your deposit back and all of that anytime before March 15th. So nothing to lose. And absolutely, be in touch. We want this to be accessible. We want you to join us for as long as you can. And so if there are issues, barriers, let us know. As always, the big idea here is about retaining and engaging the folks who are going to be on SEVET, the leaders of tomorrow and really the leaders of today. And so that's the big goal in developing this program, is making sure that we have folks at Tavor learning and growing and, really supporting the program each summer moving on. Lila Tov, everyone have a beautiful evening, a nice, peaceful, bright holiday season, and we'll talk to you soon and let us know if you have any questions. Okay. Bye, everyone.